Hello and welcome to this episode of How to Be a Great Player. In today's episode, we're looking at the grand question of how to improve your imagination. Now, on great GM videos, there's ample stuff on how to improve your sense of imagination and what is imagination and how you use it to tell a great story. But as a player, what can you do to help make your imagination just stick out a bit more so that when you're creating a character, you create a truly memorable character? And there are a couple of videos on how to create character backstory and flesh out characters and so on and so forth. And they're all useful. But if you don't have an active imagination, well, this video may just help you, because this is a video on how to make your imagination better. I firmly believe that we all have imagination. I just think that some of us don't necessarily know how we get imagination or how we can make it better. So a brief recap so you don't have to go and watch the GM videos. Very simply, imagination is made up of four things. Imagination is made up of personal experience. It's made up of research. It's made up of inspiration. And finally, it's made up of a big banana. That's right, a big banana, and we're going to come to that big banana in a little bit. So, what do I talk about when I talk about experience? I'm talking about your life experience. Everything that you've done to this date has been experience, and you've been slowly leveling up once a year, every year, for the past ever many years you've been on this planet. Your experience should help inform you. And I'm not talking about, well, there was that one time at band camp. I'm talking about your general day-to-day experience. If I get into my car and I drive down the road, I can expect to see this, that, and the next thing. If I go into a shopping market, this is what I expect to see on the shelves. So experience allows us to create the real world around us because, well, hopefully we've been living in it. What experience allows us to then do is to then start asking questions. Well, what if it wasn't? So you walk into a grocery store and nothing is on the shelves. Well, what caused that? What made that happen? Is there going to be new stuff? Who bought it, or when did it all go because it was here yesterday? Do you see how using experience has suddenly just sparked off this great chain of questions? What are you going to do about it? So experience is very powerful. Research is really powerful. Research, literally reading, whether it's on the internet or books in a library or books at home or checking out WhatsApp on your phone. All kinds of research is useful. Nothing is wasted because you can use that research to then enhance things. Research might be that you've watched a zombie movie recently, so now we go back to that little experience problem of where's all the food gone, and you go, oh, what if there's a zombie invasion and everyone's buying up all the food before it can get, bought up by other people? Well, now the scenario's got a little bit more interesting by simply combining research with experience. So far, we haven't really used any kind of imagination. We've just been linking two things together. So research and experience go hand in hand. Inspiration is a little trickier, and inspiration needs to be kick-started by your research, your experience, or the big banana. And the big banana we're going to come to in a little moment. So inspiration is perhaps the only thing that you cannot work on in terms of getting more of. It either is there or it isn't. However, if you are open to the idea that research, that experience, and that the big banana could all lead to something extraordinary, if you just think about it, inspiration suddenly comes in. How do you link the empty shelves to zombies? How do you link the empty shelves to, say, that book on ancient Egypt that you've been reading about? Inspiration is going to come in and hopefully kickstart the little grey cells. Inspiration is, at the very least, the idea of linking two objects together, and at the very worst, that random thought that drives through your mind. So with research, obviously, you can do more of it, you can read more, you can literally try and absorb as much as you can. With experience, of course, you just need to live. It happens. But if you are aware of what's happening, you can absorb that experience even more. So research and experience both can be enhanced by simply doing more of it. This brings us to the big banana. Now, the big banana is a technique that I used to use in script writing where you have all these scenarios. You have the shopping mall with the empty shelves, you've got ancient Egypt, and you've got this idea that you want to maybe have some kind of horror, the big banana is, well, you literally insert a giant banana into the scene. What if you walked into the store, the shelves are all empty, there's zombies all around, and there's a giant banana on the table? Where does the giant banana come from? Who owns the giant banana? Who left it here? Why is it left here? Is it real? Is it perhaps a fake giant banana? Could you use it to kill the zombies with? Could you hide behind it? Could you hide in it? Could you perhaps lure the zombies away with it? The giant banana is really a device that I use to kickstart your imagination. And your inspiration. It kickstarts the inspiration because you're going, no, you can't hide behind a banana. They're not very good for hiding behind. But you could hide in it. And if you hide inside that banana, how long do you have to wait before the zombies move away? And what if it's not a banana, but what if it's a tank? What if it's a tank that has one shell left in the chamber and it could fire? Now that's starting to get to being maybe a little bit more of an interesting story. So by using the giant banana, it gets you to start thinking away from the experience, away from the research, but being able to use them to enhance your inspiration, to make your inspiration really come alive and say, well, if we put a giant Boeing 747 inside the shopping centre, that could account for why the shelves are empty because the jet engines blew them all off. It has nothing to do with zombies whatsoever. It's about this and that, and off you go. So you can develop research, you can develop experience easily. But how do you develop the giant banana and your inspiration? How do you make them better? Well, there's a lovely exercise which was suggested to us almost more than 120 years ago by a very fine author by the name of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And what he did was he had one of his fictitious characters, an excellent example of free association, of inserting that giant banana, and research and experience, that character being, of course, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. And one of the games that Sherlock Holmes and his brother Mycroft used to engage in was that they would look at people on the street and then try and work out through deduction, analysis, through experience, through research, and to a large degree through random association or inserting that giant banana, exactly what the people were, what they were doing, where they were going, where they'd come from, why they were going to where they were, and what kind of circumstance they had. To the point that Sherlock Holmes could work out if a married man had a loving relationship or didn't, worked out if he was rich and had recently lost his money, or whether he had been poor and had recently gained his money, worked out whether he was a thief by the way he walked, or, quite frankly, whether he was a murderer by the way that he combed his hair. Amazing, amazing leaps of deduction, which, when you are presented with them, as Dr. Watson used to say, are plainly obvious, except the fact that they aren't. So the point that I'm trying to make is there is nothing stopping you from when you're on a lunch break, when you are walking down the road, when you are in that shopping mall, fantasizing about zombies running all around, is to watch your fellow humans and start to engage in a little bit of Sherlock Holmesian deduction. Look at the person walking past. Look at their shoes. Are they brand new? Are they old? Are they clean? Are they scuffed? Are they covered in mud? Are their pants covered in mud, or is it simply the shoes? If it's the shoes, it implies that recently they walked through mud, but not today, or at least not in the clothing that they're wearing now. If it's both scuffed, well, then they probably walked through mud, which is unusual because most people drive these days. So did they step into the mud puddle outside of the venue? Maybe, but you didn't see any when you came in. So they were doing something before they arrived at the mall. And what generates mud? Well, maybe they were walking in a park. Well, there's no sign of dog hair anywhere on them, so perhaps they were walking in a park with their lover. And the reason why they're now currently eating a giant cheeseburger is because the lover broke up with them, left them, whatever the case is. So you're creating these stories based on the research that you are doing on this individual. You are creating observations and you're going, well, he wears glasses, so he's probably blind. But the glass in the glasses, does it look like it's magnifying his eyes? No, maybe it's fake. Well, why would it be fake? Oh, maybe the glasses have actually got a camera built into them and he's recording everything. Maybe the seemingly large, hairy man is actually a secret agent who's tracking, and then you find somebody else in the mall, that lady, because she looks like she has lots of cats and is a national threat to public health and safety. The game is a lot more fun if you have somebody with you, and the two of you can build up this amazing nest of stories about people walking past, and it passes the time absolutely wonderfully. I used to have a good friend who would sit for hours with me as we were at various conventions and things, and we would literally analyze the people walking past. And the funniest thing is that 99% of the time we were completely wrong and were nowhere near what the person had actually been doing. That's not the point. The point is we were flexing our little grey cells, to use another famous detective's phrasing, to increase our imagination, so that now when I look at somebody walking past, I can come up with an entire life story just from looking at the way that their shirt is tucked in or not, because it speaks of a troubled childhood when they were in school and they were bullied, and so had developed a massive disliking for authority because the authorities didn't do anything about the bullying. And as a result, this individual has become an accountant who has sociopathic tendencies and likes to dress up as a school bully and run around murdering young innocent men whilst they are in urinals in public toilets or something like that. Whatever the story is, you're linking all of those powers together. Now, how does this long-winded explanation apply to your character? Well, the more you develop your imagination, the more you develop your free association, the better you become at describing your character. So often have I heard, well, my character's wearing boots, he's wearing leather pants, he's got a leather jacket on, and he's got a leather cloak on, and he's got a leather sheath with a metal sword in it, and it's all brown. You can do better than that. He's got boots that have got mud caked all over them. His pants look like they've been repaired multiple times as there's different colours of stitching down the one left leg. He has this sword that's in the scabbard, and the scabbard is not actually tied to a single belt. He's got two belts, so the weight of the sword doesn't pull down his breeches. His tunic has got an emblazoned badge on the shoulder that's got these rampant lions fighting one another with a starburst in the middle of them. That's much more interesting. What does the starburst and the rampant lion mean? Well, you can make it up, or you can leave it up for the GM to then start using later on when he talks about this mysterious order who has rampant lions that fight over a burning star. The point is, the better your imagination, the better your game, the more enjoyment you and your fellow players will have. And it's all able to be developed and practiced with something like Holmesian observation of people, with random deductions that mean nothing but which help you to develop your techniques. Well, I hope this video has been helpful. If it has been, hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment below or head on over to www.greatgamemaster.com, where you can find all kinds of videos and useful things. And of course, you can leave suggestions on future videos that you would like to see on the channel. Until next time, I wish you and your Watson the very best of deduction, reasoning, and play.